Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is your friend Dharam Singh, and I'm with Sherwyn Cambridge. He's one of the smartest people I can find on the planet Earth. And for this particular topic, I know there are more smart people, and you guys are all smart. That's why you're here. So happen to teaching with him and working with him, and he got his PgMP, and he agreed to come on in this session to share his knowledge. So I'm privileged to have him here, and thank you, Sharvin. How are you today?
All is well. Thanks for the invite. Looking forward to the session and sharing my experience with you.
Great stuff. Thank you very much once again. And thank you all of you guys for coming again and again, enjoying this session. I know a lot of people are enjoying, they come back again. And this is the perfect way to keep learning without paying anything. I have more than 300 webinars recorded, and these are available on YouTube. So if you have not seen, please see them. And just like Sharvin, there are many other people came and they shared openly. I learned a lot from these sessions. And the last session I had with Jumiko from Nigeria and from real estate. She was fantastic. I don't know if you were there, but if you have not seen, watch that webinar and many others. So look, I'm always get excited from these sessions. Yeah, let's get started, Shavin. What can I talk about him? Look, he's coming with digital transformation experience, and he has done a number of work in with iGov, TNT, TT. That's what they call for, and living in a beautiful part of the world called Port of Spain, Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. It's a small country, I believe, not too big,
Yeah,
and
it's a small country, uh, probably about 1.3 or thereabout. Yeah, 3 million.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's still a small. Many of the U.S. cities are more than this population, which, but having that kind of a small community kind of environment, you probably know each other, most of them. But
yeah, yeah. Very unique to the Caribbean. Everyone knows everyone, or everyone knows someone in the network.
yeah,
Similar throughout the islands.
yeah, yeah. And I know many people from this Trinidad has joined today, and many other countries always coming. There are many people coming, and the good thing is that some people are joining even late in the night, middle of night, early morning, and these sessions are great. So look, I cannot wait to get started. I know I'm talking more, but I will get started. A little bit more about you. You're working in ICT programs and program. You've done a lot of program management, and you did pass the exam, the PgMP exam, on 3rd of October 2024, not long ago. Wow. How it feel like for you after some you worked on it and you got your application before you came to me. You want to talk about your journey?
So this is something I wanted to do for a while. As you know, I passed my PMP all the way back in 2008,
Ah,
right? So
yeah,
I've bought the books for the PGMP quite a while, and I'm so busy, I've never gotten the chance to do it.
yeah.
However, I have to say, the plan was to do it on my own without a mentor.
Hmm.
And after procrastinating for a while, I decided to do it on my own. I basically uh, registered, got approved, meticulous process because I was researching and I saw that a lot of people who attempted to do it on their own did not get approval, right? But
Yep.
I always, backed myself that I can go all the way. And so I basically tried to register on my own, got approved, I think because of my experience. Uh, and then I attempted to do some assessments to check my readiness, and then COVID hit. And that really disrupted everything. So I got really busy again. and then I had to be sidetracked to make sure I took care of all the applications, all the digital ICT situations that were occurring in government around that time, right? So that was a pretty stressful time. So I had to postpone that, venture with the PgMP. And then when I got some time, I checked to see my readiness after reading for a few months again. And then I was amazed at how complicated the exam really is. And the pass rate, it's only about probably 30-40% if you tried it my way. And I was like, man, this is too stressful. So then I researched who is the top guy globally in this. And I narrowed it down to about four people. But for some reason your name just keep popping up all the time. And I use different methods to make sure, because it's an investment. So I had to make sure I do the evaluation to check. Your name always kept coming up. And I said, well, let me see if this guy is legitimate. It's an online situation. So I checked it. Uh, and basically, I was convinced. We had an initial call. You were very professional, very friendly, very understanding. So I took the risk, and it paid off. You opened my eyes to a lot of ways of working when it comes to program management, things that I knew before, but
Yeah.
it set off some light bulbs that really made my life a lot more easier, and I became a lot more meticulous in how I approach program management, right? So things that I was taking for granted, really, basically, I don't anymore, because that could basically, the new learnings opened my eyes, and the probability of success is a lot more higher now.
So thank you, Sherwin, for accepting me as your mentor, and I'm glad that your journey was successfully completed and you got your certificate, and you are one of the top, PGMPs from Trinidad. So I'm happy to see. I think how many PGMPs are there? Four, five?
Uh, just about five. I tried tracking down some of them, but I know most of them probably migrated,
Yeah.
right? So
So so that's a unique because coming out from the population of 3 million and only five people having
it's
PGMP.
about 1.3 million, but it's unique not only to Trinidad but to the Caribbean.
Yeah,
You tend to want to go to areas of higher process maturity, right? In Trinidad, CARICOM Islands, that's a chain of islands there. They've only gained independence probably like 42 years, 62 years now, except for Haiti, who is about 200 and something years. So the process maturity is probably a little low. If you
yeah,
look at the capability models for process maturity in the Caribbean is just about, between one and two, right? But other countries who are more developed, their process maturity is around four, somewhere there, right? So we
yeah,
are still firefighting, still basically, reactive. So digital transformation will help correct a lot of these things. Uh,
yeah.
Manual processes change to, digital, but it's the mindset also, right? So we're trying to make sure that we raise that process maturity level so that
Yes.
we can make life a lot more easier for the citizenry.
Great, great, great. Look, guys, this is real opportunity for people in Caribbean and some of the third world country, like learning the best practices. And PMI has done a great job by putting all these standards together, whether PMBOK or standard for program management, portfolio management, and many of the standards, which PMI is doing great job. So you learn from these standards and do your job better. And the more you go, and you are the change leaders. Actually, you are ready to learn and make some change for yourself and for your organization and for your country. So do that. In this process, if I can be any guide or any help to you, and let me know. And Sherwyn is there, and you can reach out to him via LinkedIn, and he can definitely point you that direction. So, with this message, and thank you for again accepting me in as your partner in the journey. It was great working with you.
Yeah, same here.
Mm, thank you. Yeah. So I've shared few links, guys, for you in case you have not seen on the chat. Please see them. Some of them about the YouTube links where you see podcasts recorded and the webinar recorded and sessions are there, more than 300, 400 now. And a couple of links about the PgMP and PfMP. It's a little bit old video. I keep sharing them, but still the message is there. And I did put a message around my the app, which was released. Android app was released in December, and iOS app is coming up somewhere next this end of this month or next month. These are covering PMP, PgMP, PfMP, and RMP. RMP, I'm working on it. So my aim is to bring all the certificate, PMI certificate, into one place about not only the glossary and task, domain, process, and the question bank, everything together in one place. So many people have benefited or benefiting. So I'm sure you will find them useful as well. So a lot of free resources available in this app, and I'm making more and more available as we go. But anyway, so we'll talk more about it. So in any case, if you want to talk to me, happy to work with you and talk to you. Very easy for you to book my time. Just put talktodharam.com. www.talktodharam.com. Anyway, all this aside, let me start questions. And guys, please ask questions, as many questions you can ask. Let's test Sherwyn out today. How much he's boasting, I'm the best program manager in Caribbeans. Let's see. So bring your questions, and I will do my best to extract as much information out of him. Look, my job is here is to present question, try to get as much information from him, and this will be available for you guys to watch again and again, to share with your friends, family, and see they can also benefit from these. So with this message, let me start the first question. As we're talking about digital transformation, so let my question is, how has your leadership at the PMO level enabled successful digital transformation initiatives, particularly in adopting new technologies such as AI, artificial intelligence, automation, data governance to enhance public sector performance in Trinidad and Tobago?
So I think that governance is very important. As you know, with low process maturity, the situation, the chain of islands face here, not only Trinidad, that certain stakeholders you will have to make sure you win their trust. And if you don't do that with these key stakeholders, your probability of success will be quite low,
Yep.
right? So when you have stakeholders who are concerned, hey, this is my current state, what will my future state look like? And you have to be able to make sure you understand how to guide them through that process. So therefore, it is not only about understanding the theory, but you have to also know, hey, I need to have some capabilities when it comes to my soft skills, right? Very important. That is where negotiation, leadership, stakeholder engagement becomes very, very important. With the PgMP certification, this is an area that you really opened my eyes with. So
Mm.
you have the program definition, program delivery, program closure, and you have the formulation stages where you have all these assessments, right? And these phases are extremely important, and that particularly helped me, right? Very, very much. As it relates to governance, that's an area that I really think that the program helped me with also, because
Yeah.
I'm able now to succinctly be able to do certain things. Whilst these things I'm speaking about, I did it before, but you opened a new way of thinking where these
Yeah.
things are concerned. So when it comes to your program, it is not only about passing, getting the certification, because you can get the certification, but in real world situations, you have to be able to think outside the box, right? And that is where I think my time with you became very valuable, right? So
Yeah.
when it comes to digital transformation, when it comes to, transforming the way the public sector works, stakeholder engagement, governance, your soft skills to build and win trust when it comes to key stakeholders are extremely important, right?
And yeah, so great to know. So have you start adopting or artificial intelligence in your PMO already, or still
Yeah,
in?
I've mandated that they be trained up, right? Because this is not something you can just readily drop on an organization like that, right? You have
Mhm.
to, train them up. You have to get the policies. You have to make sure, because I think I've been, whilst I'm certified in a lot of these areas, artificial intelligence, what I've noticed in a lot of regions, people are just adopting it rapidly without thinking it through, right? So
Mhm.
you have to make sure that people understand how it can help you, and when using proprietary information, how to use it,
Yeah.
right? So your policies need to be basically in tandem with how you want your organization to work, because it's sometimes it can hurt your organization, right?
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
extremely important. And you always have to remain the human in the loop, right?
Yeah.
Just don't rely solely on artificial intelligence. So yes, we have started that, and hopefully the PMO I work for and I head, they're all certified, PMP certified, right?
Okay.
I
Yeah.
will convince them. I can't mandate that, but I can tell them one of the best mentors I have had. This is the guy, and you should consider him.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Okay, let me continue with my questions. And guys, please come up with your questions. I still don't see any question, but anyway, I still have a lot of questions to talk about. So, can you share? I don't know if you already talked. How earning the PGMP certification enhance your ability to drive complex multi-stakeholder digital transformation projects, including those impacting e-government services.
Yeah, so the PGMP certification has been extremely invaluable to me, because I had to navigate unique situations in the digital transformation landscape, right? So operating in a young nation with predominantly, manual processes, like I said, we're at level one or level two, just between there. So I've leveraged these frameworks to bridge critical gaps in our digital evolution, right? So the certification enhanced basically my ability to execute robust program formulation and planning phases, right? Essentially, when transforming legacy manual systems, right? You move in from manual to digital. Sometimes, you know, you would know, Darmin, you've worked in developing countries and first world countries.
Yeah,
You have
yeah,
to be very patient, right? A lot of egos at times, right? So it's something where your soft skills need to play a very crucial role. So additionally, I've learned through your mentorship, the certification, to develop comprehensive stakeholder alignment strategies, right? In an
mm,
environment where
and
governance structures are still maturing, right? So that is particularly important. And also, you have to harness the ability to make informed technology investment decisions, right? By balancing rapid technology advancement and organizational readiness, right? So you have to be able in that formulation phase to forecast and know, do we go or do we not go if we're talking about this specific initiative, right? Once that's green lighted, then you could start to spend on the full planning phase and you would have a higher probability of success, right? So the structure approach has proven particularly effective in my context, in our context, where we're not just implementing technology, but fundamentally transforming how government services are delivered to citizens.
Exactly.
Because programs are really about benefits, right? So this is where the citizenry needs to make sure they can see those benefits, experience it.
And especially with the government, generally they are kind of sit back, relax kind of situation. They don't want to change. They don't like many disruptive technology coming up. So convincing this senior executive, senior director, and whatever level they are, to talk about new technology, how to ensure that AI or automation and this will help us. You need to, they need to work like they're not managing but engaging with them. Show them the big picture, and
Yeah,
by having this, what benefit we'll see. So the tools,
yeah,
and I know the whatever you learn in the PgMP process, how to first identify those benefit and demonstrating the benefit and value, and then realizing them, sustaining them.
yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, great. So with a reported high failure rate in digital transformation, how have you used PMO governance to align strategy goals, stakeholder, and citizen-centric outcomes in your work with government initiatives?
So Trinidad and Tobago is a developing nation, right? I mean, if you look at all the CARICOM islands, that chain of islands, they're all developing nations, right? Trinidad is not unique. Um, as you know, if you look back at even the developed nations, it
Mm,
took some time for them to get there. They made a lot of mistakes. They took a lot of turns, making sure that they can get it right and still got it wrong. Uh, the good thing about that, we have the ability to look back and see what went right, what went wrong, understand our strategic outlook, forecast, and where we want to be, and make sure we do not make those mistakes, right? But we're an emergent nation when it comes to process maturity. So strong PMO governance has been extremely crucial to digital transformation. Uh, my approach centered basically on three pillars, right? Strategic alignment, establishing clear governance frameworks, right?
yeah. Mhm.
Connect project outcomes to national priorities, right? And create adaptive decision making that maintains strategic focus despite external pressures. A good example could be when COVID hit. Imagine you had all these plans and you had some time frames and you had a certain spend, and that's linked to certain strategic plans. But these environmental factors just came and caused you to make a lot of decisions, right? In situations like that, that is where decisive governance comes into play, right? And if you, in the beginning, then set up those frameworks properly and sensitize the stakeholders, you probably would be having a very difficult time. But that is to say, when you're setting up these frameworks and programs, you have to be able to be very flexible and to be able to think outside the box. So stakeholder management becomes essential, right? So you have to be able to implement structure engagement models across ministries and agencies in the public sector. Because when it comes to digital transformation, you're dealing with a lot of ministries, a lot of
Yeah.
agencies, right? And you have to be able to make sure that stakeholder engagement strategy is a strategy which will give you the best probability of success, right? So you have to build transparency mechanisms to maintain trust and
Yeah.
accountability in government initiatives, right? Extremely important. And most important is the risk and change management strategies, right? So you have to develop that robust risk assessment protocols, particularly tailored to a low process maturity environment, right? And demonstrate success whilst doing it because from lessons learned. During COVID, a lot of things did not go so well, but we learned a lot from it.
Yeah.
So using those experiences are particularly important going forward, right? So these approaches have provided particularly effective way of managing these programs in our context. We're transforming manual processes, to digital services has been something that we've been trying to do. But digital transformation is also a mindset, right? So we continue to strive where this is concerned, and I think we will sooner or later make some headway where that is concerned.
Great. Good job. Good job. And yeah, you have highlighted number of good points around stakeholder engagement and the goal setting, and then working with having a right, risk and risk and issue management strategies. So following those strategies can definitely help to get better results, and of course lesson learned. So what happened during COVID time, and what what we can do next time with next initiative, learning from them is very, very extremely important. So
Yeah.
keep learning. Yeah. Man, I can also appreciate because I started one risk management RMP program last week, and I've done a number of them. But going back, learning, relearning about risk and more about, is opening my eyes as well. The advantage
Yeah.
of a teacher is you learn a lot when you teach. So
Yes. Yes. Well, I am an adjunct lecturer at the university,
yeah,
so that I think that actually helped me pass the exam because a lot of the times teaching the information allows you to assimilate it pretty faster
yeah,
and sets off certain light bulbs, right?
yeah, yeah. Okay, great. Um, okay, let me ask the next question. So, based on your extensive experience, how do PMO leaders in Caribbean context leveraging AI-driven tools and analytics to enhance decision making and deliver measurable transformation outcomes?
So the company I'm associated with iGovTT, we actually have done a lot of work where that is concerned, right? Uh, it has not essentially hit the PMO, but we've managed those projects. But I have gone beyond the call when it comes to embracing AI tools, right? The company trains bots for customer service. They also extensively experiment with AI technology, right? Because the company has a software engineering arm, solution architecture arm. So these guys are the subject matter experts. But recently, over the last 6 months or thereabout, we've started to embed that technology into the PMO, right? So for instance, like PMI Infinity, which serves as the knowledge foundation, right?
Mhm.
Providing instant access to proven frameworks and templates. I myself I've begun experimenting with Make.com and Claude and these things to automate these processes, right? So this AI powered approach has fundamentally shifted how I lead because It reduces the time spent on operational tasks from, I think, about 60% to about 20% of my day.
Wow.
So it allows me to focus more on strategic things. And as you know, I've been extremely busy, right?
Yep.
And using those technologies and embracing it has freed up a lot of my time so that I can do a lot of strategic work.
Great. I mean, this is great technology. Yes, there are some worries as well because of that. But if you can embrace the new technology, use it for your, required purpose. You said 60%, you can actually, 70% or more or less. You can bring a lot of more efficiency. Like a document you have to write. Yes, you still have to provide some basic information, but the document which ChatGPT can write in a few seconds, and which probably going to be less than 70% accurate as you want. Why not? You know, and use that new system, new technology for getting any productivity. That's I love it, and I'm sure many people are already using it and finding it useful.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Wow, this is great. All right. So, what strategies have you employed to overcome challenges in public sector digital transformation, ensuring stakeholder engagement and citizen-centric focus result in your leadership at iGovTT?
So I'll give you some background. So in the public sector, like I said, you have the Ministry of Digital Transformation who sets policy and tells iGovTT to implement. iGovTT normally uses projects and programs as vehicles to satisfy the mandate of the ministry. What you would see happening, however, is that you have to have a multifaceted approach, right? Because leading digital transformation initiatives, you have to have different avenues to make sure your probability of success is higher.
Yep.
Basically, I've used the 8 principles of program management. Uh, that is something that I have basically uh, really attached myself to. So I implement a strategic approach focused on 3 areas basically. Because, for instance, in the public sector and in my unique situation, I'm dealing with over 100 agencies in certain situations, right? 20 ministries, right? The
Yep.
stakeholder collaboration that needs to happen there when you want to affect the entire citizenry is enormous, right? So there's a far difference between being a project manager and a program manager where initiatives like this are concerned when you're spending large amounts of money, right? We're not talking small amounts here, very large. So you have to be very cognizant and responsible about how you basically carry out your duties, right, as the head of a PMO, right? So first, we create a structured engagement forums, that brought together diverse stakeholder groups, right? So these sessions move beyond the traditional presentation, right? So this approach helped to build trust, right, and demonstrate commitment to inclusive transformation, right? Because there are a lot of dependencies happening here. So the next thing we did is basically to develop a phase implementation strategy that allows stakeholders to experience benefits incrementally, right?
Hmm.
So by showcasing early wins in certain situations, such as reducing processing times and improve access to services, we build momentum and confidence in the transformation journey, right? And thirdly, we establish capability building programs that empower the public sector, right? So to become digital champions. So we selected different ministries, early adopters, right? so that they can empower the public sector. So this investment in people proved crucial, and it's transformed potential resistance into active support, right, for modernization, right? So that
Mm.
has worked pretty good in my situation.
Yeah, great. Good to know this actually. And your small addition is improving and government
Yeah,
services, and in turn, this will benefit to the public and best
yeah,
utilization of taxpayers' money.
yeah,
They can get facilities much faster, much better using the digital transformation
yeah.
work you're doing. Okay, great. So my next question is, how has your adaptive leadership style contributed to success of large-scale programs, especially under dynamic and complex conditions within Caribbean digital transformation landscape?
Yeah. So as you know, environmental factors, the politics, the culture, the economy, these things could affect programs, right?
Yeah.
Uh, Again, I go back to COVID-19, right?
Mm.
Uh, this is a very good example of how, you have to be able to think outside the box to change plans rapidly. And here is where governance comes into play. You have to be extremely decisive where this is concerned, right? So,
Yeah.
flexible governance frameworks, basically, learning how to scale it, implement it, is one of the hallmarks of being a pretty good program manager, right? So these frameworks allow for rapid decision making while making proper oversight. So in my situation, this proved crucial when we needed to pivot program directions in response to emerging priorities, right? So that for me was pretty important. Uh, I've learned a lot on the U where that is concerned. So also we've really developed an innovative stakeholder engagement model combined with traditional, I would say, Caribbean collaborative approaches with modern digital tools, right? So this hybrid model helped maintain strong relationships with key stakeholders, right? So that has worked for us, particularly for me and the company. So
Yeah.
we've created adaptive responsive protocols also that embedded our teams to quickly realign resources and efforts as conditions change, right? You have to be able to do that, right? Especially how the world is evolving today, right? You have to be able to do that. So, the results demonstrated the effectiveness of this adaptive leadership style that I think I have used. Despite the dynamic environment, I think we have constantly met our key transformation objectives in most situations, uh, notwithstanding that we need to understand with digital transformation, people think you have to be successful, but sometimes things can go wrong. That's all part of the journey, but you learn from it, and those lessons you can use for continuous improvement, right? So more importantly, we've established resilient program management approach, right, that could flex with changing conditions without compromising core deliverables, right?
Mm. Great, great, great. Thank you. It's a lot of learning, and your example of COVID-19 is very valid. Something which was like your never-ending bad dream. People just live on a mask. Putting a mask every time you go out, and you cannot go out. To a lot of learning out coming out of that. Whether how
Yeah,
we run the project, how we run program, adaptability, resiliency, and a
yeah,
lot of learning out of box thinking, which is great. When it is like any situation, you start thinking, oh my God, what happened? What can I do? And you start, things are going downward spiral. Or the second thing is, yes, we are in this situation. We cannot do anything out of, anything better. Just we to survive. But what else we can do to improve ourselves? What can we learn from this situation for our betterment or for future betterment?
yeah, yeah,
Great, great, great. And for people, I actually just shared. PDU code. And if you look at the chat, you can see the PDU code. You can use that PDU code for earning one PDU from this program. I'm sure you're not here just for PDU, it's for learning. And added advantage bonus is you get a PDU. Why not? And by
I
the way,
hope
if
I
yeah,
hope you'll give me a PDU too.
yeah, you can use the same PDU as well. I can give you the PDU, no problem. You deserve PDU because you are working here, spending your time preparing for this session. Yeah, definitely. And for other people who I always share a couple of YouTube channels, especially with the webinars for last 1 year. If you watch the webinar, previous webinar, recorded even, you can contact me for PDU code for last 1 year. Has to be within 1 year because
Yeah.
after 1 year these PDU codes are not valid. But go back to those recordings, watch what other people are learn. You learn from them basically, and also get some PDUs. And PDU should not be actually PDU earning is should not be that difficult, but it's all about learning. And if you don't like the program you joined, Sherwyn, that gave you 48 PDUs. That
Yeah.
kind of you know 48
Yeah.
PDU out of 60 means only you have to worry about 12 PDUs.
Yes.
Anyway, so yeah, the PDU code is there. In case you don't see that, you can put a message on the question, Dharam, I cannot see it. Can you share here or there, whatever. I will help you with that. Okay, we have a question that came from during the registration from Kwaza, and it's a good question. Let me bring it for your attention. Any guidance on how to set up PMO in non-profit organizations such as INGOs, NGOs, and NGOs and CSOs?
Good question, actually. Actually, I've set up PMOs in both the public sector and nonprofit organizations. So
Mm,
what I can tell him, there is a subtle difference, right? So for the nonprofit PMOs, the approach must be balanced, right? You must balance structure with flexibility, right? Because given
mm,
the funding constraints,
yeah,
right, volunteer-based teams and mission-driven priorities, you will need to be cognizant of that. So, setting up a PMO in nonprofit requires adopting a sort of a best practice to mission-driven priorities, right, and resource constraints, right? So, in my situation, if I can recall, the way I went about it is to align the mission and donor expectations, right? Ensure the PMO supports program goals, compliance requirements, those kind of things. Have a flexible governance and uh, processes in place. Unlike corporate PMOs, non-profit PMOs should balance structure with adaptability to accommodate shifting donor priorities.
mm,
Right? So that is extremely important, right? So, and you will need to have a stakeholder-centric approach, right? So that is important. For stakeholder optimization, leverage low-cost digital tools. Technology could be expensive at times, right? And also impact measurement and reporting is key to
yeah,
continuously making sure things are going according to plan, right? So yeah, so unlike corporate PMOs, nonprofit PMOs prioritize agility, probably sustainability and stakeholder engagement, right? So very important.
yeah, great. Good suggestions, especially with when talk with a non-profit organization, NGOs, where the funding is coming from,
Yeah,
anonymous or different sources are there. The priorities can change, and you at the same time you have to utilize this fund in the best possible way to minimize the impact of the administration costs, this and that. So yeah, setting a right PMO is important, with the
yeah.
yeah, great, great, good, good. Um, so these are my questions and the question from the registration. I don't have any other question, but yeah. So just for your information, guys. So um, please, I'm sure you learn from this, and you can reach out to Sherwin. I know he's probably open for connecting with you and learn from him. And any opportunity, you want to discuss with him, and if you want to learn from me and from my experience about PgMP, PfMP, PMP, RMP, all of these, you can simply book my time by going to Dharam, talktodharam.com, and with the actually I'd love my number of I love my number statistics with 532 PGMPs from I think 60 or 61 countries, including you and Trinidad.
I think that is crazy. How did you do that?
One at a time, one at a time.
You know the pass rate for PGMP is it's crazy, right? Compared with the other certifications, right?
Yeah,
So 500 and something. So
32. Yeah,
yeah, 32. So well, you see why you keep coming up as number one on the searches, right?
yeah.
So you got any awards from PMI for that?
No, no, PMI don't award any, like I'm ATP, authorized training partner, so they cannot just favor me as only one ATP that compete to other. Even though they know that I'm doing great job, but because they see the conflict of interest, whatever they see that way. But yeah, they always, I have a good relationship with PMI, and we talk how to improve the PGMP process, PFMP process. I've been supporting them since 2013, guiding them, and a lot of improvement I've seen from 2007, 2009, 2013, and they keep bringing in discussion happens. So that's I feel privileged that they see me as an important stakeholder, seek my guidance and direction on some of the important decisions. Just
I think that's
um,
fantastic.
yeah, and 162 PFMPs out of 2,000 something, which is I'm proud of every PGMP, PFMP. And I want to talk, I got my first PBA as well, just yesterday from Kenya. And this smart boy, I can say, came out from, low background to, exceeding his expectation, learning and growing himself. And, I mean, I'm proud to say like he's done really well. And I'm sure I'm going to bring him in one of the webinars very soon. Eric, his name Eric. I'm in the process of, just he passed yesterday, so I'm going to bring him and like to have his experience growing up and how he's exceeding expectation in Kenya. I mean, Kenya is another actually fastest growing economy in Africa, which is, and people like Eric are adding more value. So I'm excited about it.
Interesting.
Mm, yeah. For next, actually on 20th of January, I do have another webinar. She already passed PGMP, and hopefully she will have a PFMP before the webinar, and she's excited about it, and I'm sure she's doing great. Her name is Lucie, so please join her webinar, and she's very excited, ready to share knowledge. So you will learn a lot from that. So once you see on my LinkedIn profile, and you may get invite, so join it as soon as possible and enjoy these sessions. So these sessions, just like Sherwin was openly sharing his experience, his learning, and he get nothing out of this other than support from they may get like from you or something, but otherwise it's a learning. Whatever you learn, share. So my job is to bring people here on this platform and try to let them expand, explore, or share their knowledge. That become part of the knowledge pool, and hopefully this knowledge pool can stay with you guys for many years. So keep learning from these, because what you're going through may not be the best, but what Sherwin did, what Lucie did, what Edward did, or so and so, and if you're in the similar situation, how are you going to benefit from that learning? So keep learning from these sessions. I'm sure you're going to get lot benefit. Yes, there are paid programs, but there are a lot of unpaid programs. Internet is full of them. YouTube is full of them. So keep learning from them. So that's my message. Keep learning. Keep doing your job. Great job. Whatever you're doing. And if I can be in the process, I can be any help to you, or just reach out to us. I'd like to thank you, Sherwin, for your contribution. I'm sure people can keep learning from these. And it was great working with you on this webinar. And
Much appreciated, Darman, and I appreciate working with you also. You really opened my eyes and set the bar to a different level. Your professionalism is at an extremely high level, I must say. You didn't just take my money and just try to rush through. You
mm,
actually prepared me how to conduct and carry myself in the real world, right? Particularly as it relates to that formulation phase, right? That
yeah,
has made my life a lot easier.
yeah, thank you. And all these talks actually gives me a goosebump. And I'm feeling if I can contribute to so many people's life, and anybody, anybody can do that, is realization happen. And I feel privileged that I'm part of your journey and so many people's journey. And if I can give a little bit of my guidance or help, and you succeed and you find yourself better place, that's what my job here.
Sure.
So thank you very much, Arvind, and thank you all of you guys for joining. And I always feel happy to see more people come and learn. And please enjoy your life and keep coming and learn from these sessions. All right, guys, you take care and enjoy yourself. Bye now.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.